Mate, we're in the same boat as most businesses that are brick and mortar businesses anyway, but we got shut down about March 16th up here in LA. And it's been pretty wild ever since then. We shut down, we moved everyone onto an online model, developed that over time, and are rebuilding right now. So we opened all 3 locations. The last one opened 2 weeks ago. So
nice.
Yeah. So man, it's been a lot of work, but I'm just stoked to be back in business. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, I'm sure you go for that. So what was the transition like? I'm super curious about how you guys were like trying to switch up the model, going between like all in to the gyms and then out of that. What were you guys doing?
Yeah, so it was it's a new model that we obviously haven't operated before. It's obviously a better model, to be honest with you. It's as a business standpoint, it's a higher profit margins, lower overhead, global market. You're not restricted to your own demographic here, but in saying that, it's tough. It's something that we had never done before. It's something that most people in the industry had never done before. So there was no real
to that like in-person experience, right? Like that's
Well, there's no real model to go off when you're kind of pivoting like that, because it hasn't really been done before to that capacity. So we created a strategy and a platform, and we moved all our members over to it, and we just kept growing and we kept developing it, and we ended up building out some software and a platform that's actually quite it works really well. With the class model, it's different. See, we do classes in studio, and we ended up moving and merging into 2 different areas. One is like kind of fitness consulting with nutrition and one-on-one more athletic development, and the other one was still servicing our class-based clients as well. And what I found was with the class-based clients, it's a lot harder, obviously, to deliver that that kind of that community feel and that obviously that intensity, right? But we still had a lot of people stay with us.
Yeah, chirping in your ear, like it's a little different when you're just trying to get motivated through a webcam or something.
Exactly, man, exactly. And and it's the clients don't really get to interact or anything either. So what we did was we personalized it quite well. I still believe like the one-on-one aspect that we pivoted to is working really well, and it's still actually working really well right now, even though we're back in our group classes. So
it's almost like a new business channel for you guys, like a forced adoption almost or something.
Yeah, well, that was the exciting thing for us, man. It was like we got forced to build out a new model. That in theory it's a better model, as I just said, for the business. So now it's an additional service that we have, which is great. And we've got the platform concept is that we connect high level coaches, we certify them, and then we connect them with athletes and clients, and using our management systems, they can manage those clients. So, and then we become more of a brokerage platform for that as well. So for the one-on-one stuff, that's great. It's really good. For the class stuff, it's tough. It's definitely tough. It's like, there's nothing you can get a great workout in still at home, but there's nothing like being in the actual facility with a heap of people sweating, So
100%.
Yeah, it's different, but hey, it works, and the model's still growing, and I'm happy that we're back in business. It's
So are you as like it sounds like you're operating a few different ventures, whether it's like in studio or then you have like this online model, and then I noticed you guys even have like, is the results-based programming the stuff that you're talking about building out?
Yeah, so RBP that's the concept that we built out during COVID. And that's where we're really focusing on our one-on-one athletic development and our one-on-one consulting as well for individuals. So which is a great asset for our in-studio clients. It's an additional service that allows us to really dive into our already client base and improve their results, and then also give ourselves a global market and connect those other coaches with some clients as well. So
yeah,
it's growing. It's growing.
Dude, that's awesome. What are the tips for someone at home during COVID right now, trying to stay safe? Up in that, we got the garage set up like as our workout space.
Yeah, yeah, man. Honestly, the biggest thing is like get yourself the most comprehensive home gym you possibly can.
Really, yeah.
And get after it, mate. Honestly, it's like, you know, there's a lot of, I was lucky that, you know, I obviously have facilities that were now empty, that were empty during COVID. So I got to use those, but there's so much you can do indoors or outdoors, you know, in your own space. Get a set of rings, you know, those Olympic rings are so versatile. You can hang them from anything. And they help, you know, and they're so versatile. You can do a number of different workouts with them, but grab a timer and just get after it. You know, there's so many, even if you don't want to follow along to, you know, a program or anything, if you just YouTube it, there's a million workouts you can do at home, and it's just about sticking to consistency.
Yeah, like the workout industry is so interesting to me right now, and you know, from other podcasts I've listened to, as well as what I wanted to ask you about is like, how do you kind of, you know, either work alongside or find your own vein, and maybe it's the community aspect, but like so much free fitness exists today.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, whether it's the celebrity who's now a fitness influencer, or, you know, the mom blogger who's like, this is how, there's so many people that are doing fitness. It seems like it's a really challenging marketplace now more than ever before.
Mate, that is a really good question. So people only pay for two things in fitness. They pay for results, obviously, but then they pay for accountability. That's it. And accountability / community. So, you know, you can get a free workout. You can get, you can jump on an app that's like $10 a month or whatever and just follow along workouts. But they don't really guarantee you results, because it's predicated on your own accountability. So and people buy into community because they want to become a part of something. They want to feel welcome. They want to feel like they're, you know, more a part of something that's more than just, you know, an app workout or even just a gym, so to speak. That's why that group boutique fitness is so popular right now, and it's growing. And then there's the results. You know, it's very hard to get results if you're not motivated and you're kind of just following along your own workouts, and there's no one really pushing you and holding you accountable, even during those workouts, but all before and after. So for me, it's always the reason that we've always done quite well in our studios is because those are the two things that we focused on, you know, and it helps us really kind of serve a greater community other than just a few people in the network. So
no kidding. Yeah, I like results and accountability. That's super cool, man. So when you're like figuring out, you know, how you're going to spend your time between the two things you're working on, do you have the F45 stuff kind of figured out where it's rocking and rolling, and you can kind of go out and explore? Like, how are you doing that?
That's another good question.
Yeah.
So pre-COVID, absolutely. Yeah. Obviously COVID put not a bit of a spanner. Obviously COVID changed everything definitely for our industry. And I know for a lot of business owners, a lot of them actually had to shut the doors. So,
well, definitely our local community got, you know, it was really interesting how, you know, Raleigh's by no means, you know, the same market size as you guys, but there were a lot of different approaches to it. Some people said like, we're going to pause all of our memberships and move into it. Other people said, we're just going to stay, see what we can get. Other people haven't charged. It's really interesting to see like the moves, I guess.
Well, and that's what I mean with what I said. Like there was no right or wrong. There was no model to go off or anything. So it was just we saw what was coming, and what we did was we prepared and we moved all our clients over, and we created a product and a service as fast as we could, and we tried to deliver it as high a standard as we could, even though we were learning and you know, trial and error along the way. But I mean, to go back to your last question, pre-COVID, I had teams in all the locations and management in every location that we had scaled to a certain point where it was management were basically we would report to myself and my partners, and then we would do our weekly meetings, and I had time, and I was actually working on multiple other projects at the time, and so now that we are back, I'm actually back focused down in one of the locations that we have in San Diego, just to scale that as fast as possible. Yeah. It's tough. You know, you go from having between 250 to 300 clients per location, all the way down to under 100 in each location, and we've still got our bills to pay as well. So for us, it's all just about putting the right team in place, training those individuals so that we can get back to where we were as fast as possible.
Man, so I'm really kind of interested, like, for kind of back to the fitness industry in general, whether you can do your own studio concept. F45 seems to be getting a lot of traction. You've got like the CrossFit gyms. There's a lot of different, like, to your point, the communities and the studios. Like, when you were and maybe we go back to when you were first getting into fitness or getting into owning an F45, like, why was that the route that you decided to take to get into the fitness industry?
Franchise?
Yeah,
so that's another good question. So as you know, obviously I'm not from Southern California, so I actually lived in Thailand prior to coming over here. I had
I love it.
Yeah, my business partner and I, we built like a hot yoga / HIIT facility in Thailand. And based on that experience and doing a fitness concept, but any concept really, and like a foreign country, and building brand, and all the logistics with building equipment and all that sort of stuff, and building community, and being able to build the processes and the systems. We looked at many different options before we came here, and that was one of them to start our own. But I saw the success that F45 already had very early on in Australia, and I had some good contacts with a few of the guys at HQ that we leveraged, and there was only one F45 in Southern California when we landed.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So, and that was in Santa Monica. By the time we had landed and we spent a couple of weeks here, Venice opened as well, but we ended up opening the 5th in the United States. And when we got here, it was So, but in saying that, you buy into a franchise for brand recognition. But there wasn't any.
Really there yet. It's like,
no, there wasn't any. But what we did buy into was we bought into a system. It was a one-stop shop, and it was it was a great decision. It allowed us to come over. We had to find our own space and do all that sort of stuff. But what they provided was the branding, the workout, the equipment, all in one big package, and we just had to build our own systems around their programming, basically. So it has been a great platform, and we opened one. We opened the first in 2016, and then we opened one every year since then, besides last year. So it's been good. Yeah.
Dude, what is it like opening a concept in Thailand? Because I feel like I've heard that in like conversation, like, hey, we want to do like a eco getaway, like off the grid type of. Is that a totally different ball game?
It's frustrating.
Because I spent some time over there after I graduated. I did like 2 weeks. I went for like the party. I was like PP Island, and then I was I was like in and out, kind of a day's trip. But what's it like when you're there, like settling roots and making business happen? Man, it's very different. It's not real life, It's still it's island vibes, there's no time anywhere. There's no urgency. There's no sense of urgency for anything. So it makes doing business tough, So when it comes to dealing with Thais, it's also a very the way that they do everything is very unique, obviously, compared to the Western countries. So we had a couple of contacts there that allowed us to, get contacts with lawyers and builders and architects and all that sort of stuff. And one of my business partners had done business there before, so he had a bit more in the know. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be something that you would go into completely blind, but I mean, he wasn't that experienced either. So it was just more of the contacts that we had allowed us to have the ability to do it, and hey, it was a good learning experience. That business completely failed. It was a complete flop, but you learn from those failures, No, yeah. I mean, honestly, probably teed you up with some interesting lessons for, I mean, the F45 stuff, even though it's a completely different market.
Yeah, definitely.
Dude, I'm really inspired by being able to like split your time between doing multiple things. It's like, you know, I've gotten just kind of into building this agency over the past couple of months, and I'm definitely like inspired by other avenues. So do you have other, like, how do you have your business set up outside of the stuff you do with F45? Do you have a team around that, or is it really just you kind of exploring?
Yeah, so the concepts that I'm currently working on, or the projects that I'm currently working on, I've been doing a little bit of consulting. Previous to COVID, I was building a consulting business and program and platform for individuals in my space that they have underperforming studios, and they need basically help holistically with their business. No, not just any one kind of facet. So team development, sales and marketing, and kind of leadership, and I built out a really well-rounded program, and I had a fair few clients actually on it, building some success. But it was more of just myself. I didn't really have a team underneath me assisting with it. What I did have was a team of VAs, so virtual assistants.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I'm just poking the bear with that, like trying to understand the best way to plug them in and you know.
Yeah, and that's a learning curve, just kind of managing those guys as well.
For sure.
Honestly, it's I ended up landing a really good team, and they were very experienced with everything that I needed, which was really good. Okay. So, and they basically were the backbone of everything, kind of my client onboarding, all my design and administrative tasks, and all that sort of stuff. And of course, you can automate quite a bit when you have a VA team. And when it comes to social media growth and strategy and organically generating leads, they're also pretty useful as well. So that's the way I structured it. The next stage in that would have been to onboard consultants underneath me, but I completely basically had to take my foot off the gas for that one, because everyone in my industry was basically bankrupt. So and everything that I built with the business improvement was kind of obsolete, and everyone was focusing on the new model and saving their clients rather than what I did. So I've worked with my clients for some time through COVID, and then kind of just pivoted to really focus on my own businesses so that we can make sure that we came through at the other end,
Honestly, I mean, it's just impressive that you guys were able to weather the storm for like, I mean, what you said 4 months or something like?
It was 3 months, just over, I think, 3 months.
Dude, like that's
for all three of them, eh?
Hey, 2020's been crazy, man. I don't think it's gonna light up till 2021 either.
I know, no travel either. But it's this is, a lot of people are. They're always so very cautious as to what they're doing, and they always listen to this big hype media that's going on, and it's all doom and gloom. And yes, there's a lot of people have lost jobs and everything as well, but you got to realize that every market now has the issues or the problems in every market are heightened. So if you're an individual that can, or a team that can, look at those and think, what solutions can I build for that market or that product or that industry, then that's how you can be successful, because you can actually build really impactful solutions that are helping businesses or individuals during this time. So it's also an exciting time. It's it's, you got to try and see the good in all amongst all the madness, but it is what it is, bro.
It's so true. Like it's kind of funny because I basically started doing this right when kind of COVID was coming online. And like 2 or 3 months in, a couple people were asking like, how's it going? Like, are you really struggling? I was like, honestly, it's a weird thing to say, but the situation has actually helped our business. We've onboarded clients just because they were like, we don't have any of our social media. We don't have a content strategy. We don't know how to engage with people properly. So that, was helping us through those first 2 months to really kind of get our feet under us so we could start, moving forward. And it's definitely kind of a weird conversation to navigate, because there has been tragedy, but to your point, there's opportunity depending on your perspective, right? And that shift in perspective can be so crucial for something like this.
And especially, I suppose, definitely in the digital marketing world as well. It's that's such an important facet of any concept or product or business right now. And there's so much lead flow for so many industries. if it's based online or if it's digital, and you know the digital world is just exploding. So you're going to start seeing all these other platforms kind of pop up in each industry, like especially my industry, all these digital platforms coming through where people can coach on, or they can communicate on differently, or they can manage like a CRM of some sort. So there's a lot going on, and it's just all about kind of, you know, pivoting what you're doing and to fit the new norm, and to find those solutions to the world's problems, you know.
Yeah, get creative with it, honestly.
That's it, man. That's it. And a lot of people had a lot of time, you know. Everyone kind of fucking took a holiday, and I'm like, mate, we went to work, you know. We went to work, man. It was like, I thought I was busy before. We got busy during COVID. So
I love that. Get busy when it gets tough, man. That's
a
great one right there. Well, dude, I mean, thank you so much for the time so far. The last thing that I always like to like end conversations with, where it's like public like this, is just, if you had, you know, a microphone and you could say something to everyone in the world for 1 minute, what would you say?
Shit.
It can be fun. It can be inspirational. It can be motivational. It's just, it comes out of the left field, but I'd love to know what you think. I love your personality, man.
Honestly, you know, I think it's probably relevant for right now, but only focus on what you can control, and don't focus on what's out of your control.
Yeah.
You know, and if you do that, you'll be happy, you know. And it's if you don't do that, you're going to be suffering. So just think about that concept when you're kind of when you're stressed or with anxiety, or you're kind of frustrated. I know it helps me, because I get frustrated at a lot of things and a lot of situations that go on, but you can only focus on the things that are in your control. And when you do that, then your time's going to be, or your attention's going to be delegated a lot better as well. So
that's strong, man. Hey.
That's not bad. Yeah. You put me on the spot. I'm like, I'll just say what I got, bro.
That's really great. Dude, I also meant to shout out the Legends, the Legends shirt. I'm a huge fan of those guys. Yeah,
these boys are legends, mate. Timmy's a client of mine, actually, up here in South Bay. We've been doing a lot of work with these guys for the last couple of years, actually. So they're crushing it. Their kit is, honestly, it's the best fit. It's the best material.
I would stand up and try to show you I'm wearing Legend shorts right now.
Bro. Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, these boys have the best kit on the market for sure.
Dude, I've got all my friends on it, so I'm a big fan for sure. Well, dude, Luke, thank you so much, man. It was great getting to connect, brother. You know, don't be afraid to stay in touch, and we'll be slicing this up and cutting it up to put it on social. So
man, I'm always down as well. If you ever want to jump on again, let me know. Once I get my kind of social organized a little bit better, I've definitely dropped off during COVID, man. It was definitely more dialed in, but once I get everything squared away with these studios, I'll be reaching back out, and we'll do one of these.
I gotta get the update after you guys are up and running again, man.
Yeah, love it, mate. Awesome.
Peace, be easy.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Yeah.